Well, good evening, everybody. It's Dave coming to you from the backyard. It's about 6:30 on Tuesday evening. I already put out a pretty long video, so I don't know. Try to keep this one a little bit shorter for you. So we're doing see if I can get this focus for you. Davidoff, Winston Churchill, Late Hour. Definitely one of my favorite sticks. Sponsored by Canada Dry, Cranberry Ginger Ale. 2 more cans of this stuff, and then the crap soda is gone. It's perfect. It's not as hot. It's clouded over. The sun's gone behind the trees, and it's probably only about 83 or 85 right now. So it's 10 degrees cooler than yesterday. Feels really nice out here tonight. Chance is out here with us. You see way in the back there, you can see Anne Marie's playing fetch with Echo. That is Echo's favorite activity. Chance wants to go. He doesn't participate in fetch, but he likes to go act like he's part of the deal. So Rumble, our small pony, is doing well. Anne-Marie will head over and feed him some soupy dinner in about an hour. But so far it looks really good. I don't think we'll have any issues with him pulling through and being healthy again. For how long, who knows? But he's over 20, so he's kind of aged for a little guy. He's had a good 10 years with us. So hopefully we have him for another 5 or 10 years, but if he only gives us another few months, it's been a good 10 years, so we just need to we make good horse decisions. So, we don't put our horses through bad ordeals just to extend their physical life just because we feel bad about putting them down. But so far, he's doing well. So I think these Churchill-sized cigars are my favorite. Such a long, cool smoke. I really enjoy them. These are pricey sticks, though. I think even like from JR's, even by box, these are about $25 a stick. So I don't smoke them too often, but definitely, I think this is my new favorite stick, followed directly by the Partagas Black. So Anne Marie has just left to go feed Rumble his dinner. Lauren is sound asleep up in her room. Chance went inside. He couldn't stand that he was outside while Echo was inside. So it's just you and me. It feels so good to have a 21-year-old daughter who couldn't wait to get home and loves being here. And she actually went out with a couple of her high school friends for lunch today, and she was really chatty this morning. She took her boyfriend to the airport early, and when she got back, she was chatty and just wanted to talk about being home and what her plans were for the summer. To have a great relationship with your grown kids is one of the greatest gifts in life. In fact, I was just telling Anne-Marie a few minutes ago that with Sean launched and fully successful and Lauren 1 year from it, my greatest hope is they find someone to spend their life with. like a partner, a wife, a husband. And my life would be totally different if I'd not found Anne Marie. Found her when I was young, 23, 24 years old. And I'm hoping Lauren maybe found hers. And I'm hoping that Sean finds somebody. But to be able to sit and talk with your kids about such things is quite an honor. Pretty cool. Something I wasn't sure I was going to have a few years ago. When I retired, so the company 5 years ago, 5.5 years ago, I did not have those kind of relationships with either of my kids. So 5 years later, it feels really good to have it with both of them now. So I don't know if you watch Jacques over in South Africa, but he did a good video today, and as part of a series, he doesn't realize it, but he's done a series of these, what does it mean to be a real man, and what does it mean to be a gentleman? And it's really fun to see a guy quite a bit younger than me talking about such things and so openly on his videos. So Jacques, nice job. I enjoy when you kind of go off on what does it mean to be a man, what does it mean to be a real man, what does it mean to be a gentleman. So keep doing those. I enjoy listening to you. And Uncle Willie, it's kind of fun to see how good a relationship he has with his daughter. I'm sure he has it with both his granddaughters, but he talks about Peanut way more than he does about Pickle. And it's just fun to see. I had a bit of a conversational exchange in the comments today, and it's just fun to see how much um, Peanut likes to talk to him and likes that Grandpa is her Uber. I like that a lot. That was really Willie. That was a great thing to see in your video today. So being an aging redhead who spent years on the slopes of mountains, Mount Rainier, Mount Baker, Mount Pilchuck, Mount Index. I'm kind of the poster child for skin anomalies or skin cancer. I've had a couple cut off of me already, and going in tomorrow, going to the dermatologist, the skin doctor, as I call him. So I've got something over here that I got to have them take a look at. But pretty much every year they freeze, burn, cut something off of me. So boy, wouldn't be a stupid way to die, skin cancer. Don't want to go down that road. So pretty good about it. I pretty much go in at least once a year. So that's tomorrow. Tomorrow morning early though, 9 o'clock. I should be able to still talk to you guys tomorrow or do one of these tomorrow night. Part of growing old, right? They say growing old isn't for sissies. I look at what Uncle Willie goes through. I'm not complaining about having to go to the dermatologist, by the way. I look at what he goes through, all those doctor's appointments and poking and proddings. Ugh, kind of a nightmare. Better than dying, though. So, guys, we can talk about something serious tonight. I've brought it up in previous videos, but I want to say it. I want to talk about it again because I think it has to do. I think it has true bearing on what's going on in our community right now. I watched Smarty Bob's video today, back to school, and he brought up that one of our guys said we're YTPC, not YTPC or Team Freedom. These guys really aren't communities, and I have to say I really don't care what we label it or call it. If anything, for that matter, I don't really care. I don't put up. I don't put up my videos just for Team Freedom. I don't put up my videos for just YTPC. It's for anybody who enjoys the content. So, not even sure how to define a community in today's world anymore. But anyway, God, I totally got sidetracked. The thing I want to talk about is the concept of the gap, and that we define ourselves and we define how people view us inside the gap. And the gap is a concept that was started by a guy named Viktor Frankl. He wrote a book called Man's Search for Meaning, and it's about his experience in the concentration camps. But he realized that what was being done to him in the concentration camp, if he handled it right, really didn't define who he was. And so he introduced us to the concept of the gap. And the gap is what happens to us and then our response to it. And the concept I really loved is the wider we make that gap, the longer we make the gap between something that is done to us, said to us, and the length of gap from that moment to our response to it, our at least our external response to it, the better our response is. And I love that concept. And that I love the concept that we define ourselves in that gap. And so the gap needs to be long enough for us to understand that something has been done to us, some external thing has happened to us, that we stop and we realize it and we think about, do we even need to respond to it? And if so, how should the response be phrased and presented? I just like that concept a lot. And it's not easy, right? I mean, we're kind of trained in today's world, especially in the electronic world, especially in the social media world and tied the electronic world. And we're kind of trained to respond immediately. Um, in the old days, it was a phone call, and how did we respond to the phone call? A voicemail, how did we respond to the voicemail? And today it's texts. How do I respond to the texts? And now it's videos. So when I watch a video, how do I respond to the video? Or there's a comment on my video, how do I respond to that comment? Or there's a comment on somebody else's video, how do I respond to that comment? And the electronic world, the fast-paced nature of 2024 kind of teaches us, and we soak in this, we marinate in this kind of instant response, right? Hey, how come you're not responding to my text? How come you didn't call me right back? How come you're not commenting on my video? Right? I mean, there's that sense of you need to be urgent. We need to keep moving quickly. And I would suggest that the opposite should be true. If someone texts you, it's not required that you text right back. In fact, I would suggest you slow down so that the expectation is, yeah, Dave can take a couple hours to respond to a text. Dave sometimes responds the next day to a text, so that the gap itself doesn't offend people. They kind of have to work up towards that, right? You have to retrain people that, hey, I don't live on my phone. I don't write back right away. I think about, does a response even need to be given? And then if I decide a response is needed, I really want to think about it. I want to word it. And some of you have written me emails, and it takes me days to respond to emails because I want to be very conscientious about, does that email need a response? And if it does, I want to be super careful about the wording and the phrasing and that I choose to type into the response, because I want the response to represent me well. And I think that takes time. So I have to grow the gap, and it takes practice. You suck at it the first day, and you get a little bit better each day you practice expanding the gap. And the reason I bring that up here is I think it's extremely pertinent to the video world that YouTube that we live in the YouTube world. When we watch a video, not every video requires a response. Um, Especially the ones that upset us. If we watch a video and we're upset by it, that might be all we need to know, that it's a response isn't needed. If this video upsets me, maybe I don't need to respond to it. But if we do decide this video upsets me, and I really want to respond to it, maybe respond to it the next day, or grow the gap. Um, maybe write the response somewhere else and don't paste it yet, right? Write it, read it again tomorrow, and does it still word? Does it say what you want to say, and does it do it? Does it say it in a manner you'll be proud of once it goes out on the internet? Just slow the pace down a little bit, because you may find that, hey, what I was so upset about yesterday, I'm not so upset about today, and I don't want to respond. Or the response I wrote yesterday was really far more emotional and even angrier than I really want it to be, and it doesn't represent what I feel today, so I want to rewrite it today. So these are just ideas that maybe remove some of the anger, remove some of the emotion, still say what we need to say, but say in a manner that we don't trigger instant anger or frustration on the other side. I'm not overly successful in it, but I want, as best I can, each video I put out, even if I'm responding to other videos, to be kind of cool and level-headed and thought out and not emotional, that I don't blow my point up with my delivery, because there are so many times that the whole point of our message is completely destroyed or lost or veiled or overtaken by the delivery of the message. And you've heard me say it many times. I believe we can say just about anything that needs to be said to just about anybody that we need to say it to. It's how we choose to convey that message that is more important than the point itself. So I think this is one way it's a well-made cigar. It holds its ash really well. Probably gonna break off while I show it to you, but just that was pretty cool. The other thing I'll say is this has a great retro hail. As long as you're careful, it doesn't burn at all. It's quite nice, quite smooth. I thought it was interesting, my video this morning about how much I was surprised by how much I like Prince Albert, and that I've been smoking it like 5 days in a row, like 3 or 4 bowls a day, 5 days in a row. How many of you have responded that you love it too? Somebody said half and half was your codger. A lot of you went Prince Albert, and a couple others went a couple different blends. But it's funny how even in today's pipe community, how well the codgers are still part of our community. I know it surprised me. I did it. I told you, because I did it because of Saw Gunners video, and I have to be. That's why I went to the Prince Albert, because I have Codger Corner. I've got pretty much all the codgers, but because of Saw Gunner, I went to Prince Albert, and I have to say, it's been pretty damn good. So we finished April, so I'll give you my April smoking report, maybe even tomorrow. And then I might switch from Prince Albert to one of the other codgers and maybe smoke another codger 5 or 6 days in a row. The other thing I noticed is Prince Albert smoked 3 or 4 bowls a day in the same meerschaum every day. The meerschaum is colored a lot in the last 5 days, and I'm wondering if maybe codgers are better at coloring meerschaum. I mean, it sounds so stupid to say it, but anyway, that was something I noticed when I showed you the meerschaum today, how much it had colored just in the last 5 days. So I don't know if that's Prince Albert. I don't know if that's codger. I don't know if it's just because I smoke 4 bowls a day in the same pipe 5 days in a row. Um, but I love when meerschaum colors, so I'm gonna keep on it. I might keep. I'm not gonna ream the pipe. I'm not gonna put it at risk for that. But I do think I'm gonna smoke it every day. Maybe I'll smoke it every day, 4 or 5 bowls a day for the month of May, and see what happens. Totally got sidetracked on that one. But let's go back to the gap for a minute. So the gap I've found to be most important with those people it's hardest to exercise it with, and that's your family, your spouse, your mom, your kids, your friends. They're the ones who need the gap. They're the ones who need us to exercise the gap more than anybody else. I mean, it's far more important to exercise the gap in real life with those close to us in the moments they piss us off the most or challenge us the most. That's far more important than doing it on videos. I think it's incredibly important on videos, by the way, especially as we try to develop friendships and, and relationships in a community, whatever that means. But it is really hard when your son walks up and just says something that you just view as completely moronic, or your wife's niggling at you and you just want to dig back into her about it. It's in those moments can we practice the gap. I've been trying it, I guess I've been doing it 10, 12 years now. And I have to say, when I exercise the gap, and what I mean is don't respond and let that gap grow to minutes, hours, even days, that most of the things I wanted to respond to didn't need or require a response. And I know sometimes that can feel like you're throttling yourself, um, but I found it to be quite enabling in developing deeper relationships by not responding when it's not required. Now, here I go talking about, make sure we don't be the silent majority any longer. We do need to speak up, but not every sentence, not every conversation, not every video, not every moment of anger needs a response. And when we're trying to break the mold of the silent majority, sometimes that gap helps us come across more reasonable, less emotional, less crazy. It's harder to say, oh, you're a Trumper, or you're a right winger, or you're, a conservative crazy person, or you're old and out of date. It's harder to say that when your response is metered and well worded, well thought out, not full of anger and emotion. Anyway, if you're into source reading and learning things on your own, it's Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning, Concept of the Gap. It's pretty good. The other book that's sort of a Bible for me is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It's the one I read from occasionally, and that really takes it to another level. So that'd be the second book I would read if you want to learn about the gap. I've recommended 7 Habits for a number of reasons since I started making videos. But Man's Search for Meaning and 7 Habits of Highly Effective People both kind of changed my life years ago, but they still resonate as very true. And I go back and read them occasionally now. Well, I don't know how long this is, but let's go ahead and be done with it tonight. So let's just say goodnight. It's just a perfect, beautiful night. I feel great talking to you. Um, I enjoyed putting that video together this morning, and I love all the feedback you guys give me on my videos. So try to keep this one shorter. Say goodnight to you. And it as I always do. Gosh, may God bless you. May God bless those close to you and around you. May God turn his ear towards your prayer. May God make his face shine upon you. May he bless your life as well as he has blessed mine. Guys, hope you had a great Tuesday. Hope you got a great rest of the week coming at you. We will talk again tomorrow. Bye, you guys.